UT Hospital at the age of 42. Presley was taken to the emergency room of Baptist Hospital in serious condition this afternoon, suffering from what hospital officials said was respiratory distress. His shake, rattle, and roll showmanship with such million sellers as You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, Heartbreak Hotel, Blue Suede Shoes, and Love Me Tender kept teenage girls sighing, according to Associated Press. Presley went from driving a truck to driving the girls crazy in the mid-1950s. They screamed, jumped, and hollered, as AP puts it, as Elvis gyrated about the stage in sequined, skin-tight outfits. Elvis Aaron Presley was born in a two-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi on January 8, 1935. During his prime in the 1960s, he's carried about 175 pounds on his 6-foot frame, but in recent years was plagued by weight problems as well as fatigue. Elvis didn't smoke, didn't drink, and didn't drive a car.
New Country, WLOL, Minneapolis-St. Paul, News Time, brought to you through the courtesy of Consolidated Property. Over the king of, well, rock and roll and pop music in general, Elvis Presley. He's dead at the age of 42. Jerry?
That's right. He was found unconscious. Details are starting to come in a little more now. He was found unconscious by an aide at his home, Graceland Mansion in Memphis, Tennessee. He was taken to Baptist Hospital by police ambulance to about mid-afternoon.
This is the ABC Evening News with Harry Reisner and Barbara Walters. And tonight, Howard K. Smith in Washington.
Good evening. Barbara is on vacation. Our top story, Elvis Presley died late today at the age of 42. Howard?
Also, former President Ford.
Elvis Presley dead at the age of 42. Details in a moment on Eyewitness News.
Northwest. Our state arrived tonight at Twin Cities International Airport. WCCO's Whale editor Barry Peterson was there to meet them. His story, too, is a part of the scene tonight. But for millions of middle-aged rock and rollers, this was a mournful day. It was the day that a Mississippi boy with a country guitar and gyrating hips and a name that became a legend died. The legendary name is Elvis, and what he did to the children and the parents of the 50s changed the entire music world. More on the death of Elvis Presley in a moment on The Scene tonight.
From WCCO Television News, the Northwest Communications Center, this is The Scene Tonight with Dave Moore reporting.
NBC News presents a special report on the life and times of Elvis Presley. Here is NBC News correspondent David Brinkley.
Good evening. It didn't even matter a great deal whether you liked Elvis or not. He changed our lives. So were a lot of other people, parts of our lives, but they didn't change things.
This weekend, with that reporter's scoop beating colleagues around the world, I established myself as one of the #1 Elvis watchers and Elvis fans in this country. My first meeting with the king of rock and roll was in the early 1950s, when the late Nick Adams introduced me to the man who was to become a legend in his own lifetime, and who today stunned the world as the headlines had the scoop this time: Elvis Presley dead at 42 years of age. No star in Hollywood hid behind a greater cloak of media security than Elvis in his